On this edition of Alberta Dugout Stories, the podcast, fresh off their trip to the Baseball Canada Women's National Team Showcase, Helaina Appleyard and Hayley Lalor join us. Welcome to episode 147 of Alberta Dugout Stories, the podcast. I'm Joe McFarland. As the season winds down, we're able to take a bit of a deep breath and revisit some of the great accomplishments of Alberta baseball products over the last few months. And we wanted to start things off this week with a recent Baseball Canada event. The Women's National Team Showcase was held in Trois-Rivières, Quebec on August 8th through 13th, with 41 athletes taking part in physical tests, baseball-specific drills, daily practices, and inter-squad games. It was also the first time the women's team was able to get together since the COVID-19 pandemic hit, so all were excited for the opportunity to get back out there. 4 Albertans were part of the showcase, including a couple of previous podcast guests. Ellie Jesperson was here on episode 65 when she was named a Baseball Alberta Player of the Year award winner, while Madison Willen visited us on episode 38 after she won the Esso Cup with her St. Albert/hockey team. The others, Helaina Appleyard and Hayley Lalor, are our guests this week. Appleyard has been turning heads as a pitcher for a while now and really burst onto the scene after Nationals in Okotoks in 2019. She was named one of the 25 athletes chosen to the national team selection camp following that tournament, and while she didn't make the team, it was a learning experience for her, something she could take with her heading into Quebec. Helaina, thank you so much for joining us here on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. I'm really excited.
First off, congratulations on being invited to the Baseball Canada Women's National Team Showcase Camp in Quebec recently. How was that experience?
It was awesome. It was so nice to be around all of the girls finally. It's been, 1 or 2 years since we've been able to get together as a group. We've been having, a few calls together once a month and kind of keeping in touch online, but it's not the same as it is being in person and being able to play together. So it was really cool getting to see all of the girls and seeing all of their talent again. Yeah, it was a lot of fun learning from the coaches as well.
What all did you do while you were there?
So it was a lot of training in the first few days, and then they had games scheduled where they put together teams based off all the girls, and then we kind of just did little scrimmage games. Unfortunately, it kind of got rained out a few of the days, which wasn't ideal, but they made up for it with more training at this indoor facility and kind of just getting together as a team and hanging out as much as possible.
You mentioned that COVID break. How different was it trying to get back into game shape or game mentality, so to speak, after such a long layoff?
So luckily, here in Alberta, we've been able to have games. So with my boys team, I've been playing quite a bit every weekend and having 3 practices a week. So for me, it was more kind of nice to get with the girls and with that team rather than playing my regular ball season. But I know for a lot of the girls there, they hadn't played all season or for the last 2 seasons, so I'm sure it was really good for them to get out and play as well.
Looking back on that experience in Quebec, what did you learn out of it? What did you take away from it that maybe you can take towards your own game and make yourself even better as you climb up the ranks of the national team program there?
I think a big thing that you learn more when you play against these really high-level ball players is, for me, I'm a pitcher only, so on my boys team, I can kind of get away with just kind of throwing whatever pitches I like. But when you're against these amazing hitters, you kind of have to learn how their hitting style is, and you have to throw based on each person rather than just throwing to my own strengths, which is something that I definitely am going to work on a lot over the winter into the next season.
Anyone take you under their wing, or players or coaches you sought out specifically trying to make the most of that experience?
All the girls there are super nice. A lot of the older ones that are on the team kind of just coach you through everything whenever you need it, and they're always there to talk to you. I've gotten really close with the one pitching coach, Coach Anthony Paluda. He's amazing coach, and he's been in touch with me throughout the whole year, and even then he was just kind of talking me through all of my pitching and all of my practicing, just kind of getting in my head where I need to be.
I know being a part of the national team is a really big goal of yours. So what did it mean to you to take this next step and be that one step closer to realizing that dream?
It's honestly really overwhelming. It doesn't really seem real. It's definitely a dream of mine. I would love to play for the national team, and I know I just got to keep practicing and getting better. And I hope this next year, like with COVID and everything, it kind of dies down a bit so that we can get to Worlds and I can go to more tryouts and kind of get more exposure to the coaches of the national team. But yeah, I would love to, and it just doesn't even seem real at this point, to be honest.
What's next in that part of the journey in terms of, I assume you had maybe exit meetings with the coaches and some of the players and that, and I assume you guys are continuing to have those conversations. What's sort of next in the to-do list to make sure that you are able to get the eyes and ears of those coaches when push comes to shove and you are able to get to talk about the Worlds again?
So I think the main goal for me is kind of just to stay in touch with the coaches and keep them updated on my progress. I don't think they're going to be able to do another training camp before the next Worlds, so I think they're going to pick the team based on their notes from from the showcase. So for me, I'm just going to try and like get all my skills into them and like talk to Anthony more as much as I can and just stay in touch. That's really all I can do for now. They don't really know if Worlds is going to be this year or next year, so I just have to keep training and doing what I can to get in their heads, and yeah.
Well, you've certainly done that already. Again, congratulations on that. Let's look back for a second here. Do you remember your beginnings in baseball and when you fell in love with the game?
I do. I started when I was 9 at Sunder's Little League in Northeast Calgary, and that's actually where I met one of my best baseball friends ever. Her name's Tyra Stanich, and she's played on the women's 16U national team, and she's hoping to play for the women's national team this upcoming year. But that's where I really found my love of the game, because kind of relating to another girl who played at the same age as me was something that really helped me out, because when I first started, I was really intimidated by how good all of the boys were, and I've never been a natural athlete. It's always something that I've had to work towards. So when I was younger, I started off, it was very rocky, but kind of growing and learning with her really helped me to become the ball player I am today.
When did you start to realize that maybe you're pretty good at this game and maybe you should try to chase a bit of a baseball dream here?
So when I was about 12 years old is when I started to throw harder and realize that I was actually getting really good at pitching, and something that I really loved doing, and I was trying to be better than the boys in a way at that age, because when I was around 12 is when girls are all bigger than all the boys, so I could throw harder than all of them, and I was bigger than all of them, and I didn't click in that at one point they would all be bigger than me, but that's when I really realized that this is something that I could take farther.
And I know that your dad is a pretty big influence as well. What's he meant to you in terms of chasing this dream and playing the game that you love?
He's always been there for me from the start. He's been coaching my teams, and he started this baseball program called Change Up Baseball Academy, where he's been training so many athletes across Calgary and Airdrie and Chestermere. That has really helped me train and grow and build a family with all of the boys I play with. And just having him as a mentor throughout my whole career has really helped me stay with it.
I know in talking to some other athletes that there's always a bit of that culture shock when it's the girl with all the boys. How has that experience been for you as you've gone up the ranks in baseball here in Alberta?
When I was young, it was super easy. It didn't really seem too much of a difference, but as I started getting into the early teenage years, like 13, 14, I started to really notice like a difference, and the boys would look at me a little bit more differently than they would when I was younger. And as I got older, that would get worse and worse. And I played against a few teams where if I'm on the mound, they definitely like chirp and say things that aren't very nice, and that definitely bring me down as a ball player. But my main goal is to just keep doing what I'm doing and just show them with my skill rather than trying to get back at them in different ways. But playing with the girls definitely helps me because they all have different stories that are very similar. So just talking to them and growing as a ball player is the main way I deal with it.
You've obviously had quite the journey as well already in your young career, and that's something that you can kind of proudly stand beside as well. You've played with a bunch of different teams. You've had a bunch of different experiences. Any moment that really stands out to you as a favorite, or one that you went, I can't believe I'm here playing baseball?
I gotta say, say the one time that I really noticed was at the Women's National in Okotoks. When I got picked for the top 25, that was one of the biggest moments of my career because I had no idea that I was at the level where I could make it there. I was actually driving home after the tournament, and we got a call from my coach, and he was like, "Come back, you made it." And it did not click in my head that was something that could happen for me. I never expected that for myself. So that was really something that made me realize where I could really go with ball.
I know you've also been to Cuba as part of the Baseball Canada Women's National Team youth program. What was that experience like?
That was an amazing experience. I wish I could go back. It was a big culture shock, but we also got to play a lot of ball against all these amazing ball players there in Cuba. And it was really nice to kind of get to know the coaches more and all the girls who were coming up through the program. It was definitely very different weather, which was something that I think affected all of us. But it was an amazing experience, and I would definitely go back if I could.
One of the things that I've noted here in Alberta is that there is a very, very strong contingent of young ladies who are really making names for themselves in the game. I know there were 3 other Albertans along with you at this camp, but you have other names. Nicole Lachansky comes to mind. Kelsey Lalor comes to mind. So many others who've helped blaze that trail as well. What's that conversation like when you're talking about the game? Maybe give us a state of the game in your own eyes.
Well, I gotta say, a lot of the girls who play for Team Canada that are here in Alberta are very intimidating, but it's amazing talking to them and kind of even talking about life and just the game in general, how they play, what they do to shine above the boys or girls that play around them. It's just super interesting to hear their stories, and honestly, I could just listen to them for hours.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, one of the things, too, is that I assume they act as almost inspirations to a certain extent as well. It's one of those situations where if you can see it, you can be it. So were there any of those athletes that really stood out to you as being inspirations or mentors or idols as you were growing up?
Like you said, Kelsey Lalor is someone that I've looked up to for a while now. She's an amazing ball player, and getting to play with her on the bench was just like an amazing feeling. It didn't seem real that I could be on the same team as her, and like even just looking at all of like the people who played for Team Canada and getting to play on the team that Tara and Heidi coached was just crazy to think that they played on the national team at one point too, and that I could make it there one day.
I know you've done some coaching as well, and so I'm curious, what does it mean to you to be able to give back to the baseball community as well?
I actually really love coaching, and it's definitely something I want to do as I get older and maybe even run one of my own camps in my dad's program. There's a few girls in my dad's baseball program at the moment, and when I get to coach them and see their faces light up when they realize they can get as far as I have, and just to kind of tell them about my journey is just amazing. And seeing like the progress with the kids when you teach them one thing and they finally get it and you just see it click in their face is one of the best feelings in the whole world to me.
Speaking of coaching, what advice do you have for young girls or maybe their families who might be thinking that they should be playing baseball too?
I honestly think they should just do it. It's really scary at first, especially when you realize like it's all boys. But they can get far if they just try, and a lot of girls have a really amazing work ethic, and I've noticed that compared to the boys, a lot of them, like, nothing holds them back when they want something, so if they just keep pushing and keep trying, even when it's tough with the boys, they can definitely do it and get as far as they want to.
And certainly you are on that path for sure, Helaina. One final question for you here, the one that we always ask. What does the game of baseball mean to you?
Honestly, for me, growing up, it was my entire life, and now that it's something that I can just incorporate with my family and with all of my friends and everyone, it's my life, it's everything to me, and pitching is my main focus, and when I'm on the mound and I can just focus in and throw to all the batters, that's what it means to me.
Fantastic stuff. Well, Helaina, really appreciate the time. Congratulations on all the success to this point. Continued success going forward. And thanks so much for joining us here on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Now, the Lalor name is certainly a familiar one in baseball circles here in Alberta. Kelsey Lalor has been a staple on the women's national team for years, and she's continuing to star with Boise State. Her sister Hayley is now blazing a path of her own in the sport after being named to the showcase roster. The 21-year-old is also a multi-sport athlete as she's getting ready to play basketball again for the MacEwan University Griffins. Hayley, thanks so much for joining us here on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
First off, congratulations on being invited to the Baseball Canada Women's National Team Showcase Camp in Quebec recently. Tell us a little bit about that experience. How was it?
It was super awesome, super fun. I was really just thankful to get to be there and get to be with all the girls and get to actually play after a couple summers of not getting much playing. So, yeah, it was just super fun and just so amazing to get to have that opportunity.
Mm-hmm. What all did you do while you were down there?
We had some group practices, and then we mainly played inter-squad games, so we're all split into teams that kind of moved around a bit, and then we just got to play a bunch of games.
What did you learn about yourself, your abilities, that kind of thing as you made your way through that camp?
I think I just learned that. It just reinforced how much, maybe not a learning thing, but just how much I miss playing and miss being with those girls and those teammates of mine. It was just no matter how I was being in the game, I was just so happy and grateful to be there and so happy to be playing. So I think that's a learning point as far as even when things aren't going your way, if you're doing you can have a good time.
Mm-hmm. Did anyone take you under their wing during the showcase, or were there individual players or coaches that you were seeking out, hoping for guidance during the showcase?
Maybe not specifically. I feel I just tried to make as many connections with as many girls as I could. There was a lot of girls there who were from Quebec and Ontario who I'd never met before. A lot of them were kind of younger, 16, 17-ish, who I hadn't met at the camp I was at in Okotoks, and I think it was just I wanted to meet and talk to as many people as I could, and just kind of get to make as many different connections as I could, not necessarily specific ones. So
being a part of a national team is always a big goal, and I assume it's a big goal of yours. What did it mean to you to get this opportunity and be one step closer to achieving that dream?
I think it just meant so much. I don't know. I was when I found out I'd be able to get to go, I was so excited, and I was taking a summer course this year, so I was a little bit worried about it, but I was you know what, I can't let this opportunity pass me by, so I just made sure I could work it out and get there, and just it's just so amazing, and get to be with those coaches and get to see more and more of how that team operates and what it's like and what they do. Is just, I think it's just really important step in hoping to get to that team one day.
What do you think you need to work on? What did you talk to your coaches about to make sure that you are taking the right steps so that, say, this time next year, we're talking about you heading to Worlds or another big tournament with Baseball Canada?
Yeah, for me, mainly my outfielder, I think, because that's the position I play when I go to those camps, but I haven't been outfielding for very long, so it's just getting more reps, more experience. Just taking lots of fly balls, reading the ball off the bat kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'll be doing lots of work.
What's next in terms of planning and preparation and that kind of thing when it comes to Baseball Canada? Do you have other camps planned? What's the situation there?
Yeah, well, over the school year, I just pretty much do work on my own, get stronger, get faster, and swing on my own and things like that. And then next summer, I don't know exactly what the Baseball Canada stuff will be, but I'll be back with my Alberta team, and hopefully there'll be another nationals because we missed that for 2 years. So yeah, and I think there's a couple camps coming up in the fall here, kind of development camps that I think they're up in Spruce Grove or something that I'll probably be at. So yeah.
Let's go back here a bit and talk about your beginnings in baseball. Do you remember when you first started playing and when you first fell in love with the game?
Yeah, I started playing super young. I don't even know what age, probably like, I don't know, like 5 or something. Whenever you could probably get put in a league, that's probably when I was put in the league. Like my sister was playing before me, and my dad played like his whole life too, and he was still playing. So I think I was just around it all the time. And once I started playing, yeah, I think I kind of just enjoyed it. I really enjoy like the team aspect of it, and I've always loved it, like even since I was younger. But I think I really started to love it when I got to Bantam, and I got to play on my first girls team that went to Bantam Girls Nationals, and I got to meet all these friends and teammates who were just like me. They'd been playing on guys' teams growing up, and then we were all coming together. Just like the camaraderie of it was something that was just so amazing for me. And like every year, that was what I looked forward to. Like obviously, I love playing the season and stuff, but I was always looking forward to the nationals at the end of the season with the girls team. So I think that was a huge thing for me, getting to play with the girls. But I mean, I love the sport forever, but I think that was just a huge thing that made me like, yeah, I need to like keep doing this for as long as possible.
For sure. And as you mentioned, you have a family that's the family name is fairly well recognized here in this province. Does that kind of help give you a bit of a leg up on the competition? Because especially with your sister, knowing what she's gone through kind of gives you a bit of a heads up as to what you're going to be expecting in the days, weeks, months, and years ahead?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know. But I mean, when I go to like the national camps, even like the girls I've never really talked too much. Like they know I'm Kelsey's sister, so they'll like talk to me. And so, yeah, I think that's probably nice. I don't know if it gives me like a leg up or anything, but it's nice to have people who like reach out to you, even though they don't know you, just because they know of me. I don't know. But yeah, I think it's also been really good, like, I guess, for me, like trying and like hoping to make that team in the future, like because she's been on that team and she's gone to like tournaments, and like I kind of have an idea of how things go, I guess.
Do you find that your baseball relationship with your sister is a helpful one, or do you find that it's a bit of a sibling rivalry situation? Like, oh, you can do that, well, I can do better.
I think it's a good one. I think we're pretty supportive of each other, and like we both want each other to do well. So it's not like a me versus you type of thing. It's like both of us wanting the best for both of us. So
that's wonderful to hear, because I know in some cases that sibling rivalry can fuel you, and sometimes every personality is different. So I love being able to ask that question. I also like asking the question about moments, and I know that you've had a pretty great career to this point already. You've had a lot of different experiences with different teams, that kind of thing. Any moments or any games that really stand out to you as favorites, or ones where you went, I can't believe I'm here playing baseball?
Honestly, this summer at the Quebec camp, like I think just that was like one of those, I can't believe I'm here getting to play after everything that's gone on and nationals were canceled. I think it was just like, I remember like just standing in the outfield in like my first game, and I was like, wow, I'm like here playing. Like this is so amazing. But other than that, I feel like last nationals there were, jokes. I think there's a lot of moments in that tournament that just stand out for me. I think there's just, our team just had so much excitement, and we walked off like I think like our first 3 games or something, and I just think I can remember like every at the end of the game win moment, like sprinting onto the field, just like that rush of excitement. So there's just like some moments that I'm like, yeah, those are like forever type of moments.
Absolutely. I'm curious whether it's getting together with your sister and talking about the game, or whether it's talking to some of the other young athletes from this province. How do you assess the talent pool we have now? If you could give your own state of the game, so to speak, when it comes to the women's game, what excites you about it?
I think we're all very supportive of each other, and we all kind of want each other to do the best that we can and make it to that like next level. I think we're also like very hopeful for the future of like the women's game too. Like our own open team at nationals, obviously, like we're really want to do well, win the nationals and that type of stuff. But I think we're also like pretty hopeful for the younger girls in the other programs and like hoping. Like I know a couple of us do help with the girls in baseball camps and that type of stuff. So I feel like I don't know, conversations I guess are just pretty positive and just like hopeful for where our team's going and where the girls in the rest of the province are going as well.
That's great to hear. For those young girls or those young families who are thinking about having their children play baseball, I'm curious, what advice would you have for them if they're thinking about taking up the game?
I think it's great. Baseball. I think it's a sport that's so fun, and you can, like, I've met some of my best friends playing baseball, but it's also, I think, a sport that teaches you a lot as an athlete, but also, like, as a person. Like, you have to deal with a lot of, because it's so, like, okay, you have to set that, and, like, learning how to, if you have a poor at that, how to, okay, like, throw it into the field. But I think it's, like, it's such a good sport for learning things about life even. So,
final question for you here, Hayley. What does the game of baseball mean to you?
I think for me, baseball is it's just something that I enjoy. It's something that's fun for me. It's where all my friends I've made over the years are. It's like, I don't know, it's so important for me to have it in my life. It just means a joy for me in the summers. Like, I just love going to play. So
very cool, and obviously doing very well at it as well. Hayley, congratulations on all the success to this point. Continued success going forward, and thank you so much for joining us here on the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks again to both Helaina Appleyard and Hayley Lalor for joining us this week, and thanks to all of you for downloading and listening. We'd also like to thank our Platinum supporters, the Okotoks Dogs, for their continued sponsorship and helping us cover costs like online hosting fees and equipment. The Dogs were first to sign up as sponsors way back when, and we're grateful for all of the support they've shown us over the years. And the same goes for the support you show us. Until next time, thanks for all of your support, no matter the platform of Alberta Dugout Stories.